Hello, darling. So in my first two videos of Sommi's winners, I've done Alpha and Chi gas token, 1 and 2. Big winners, right? 8,900%, 2,100%. That's like a 90x and a 22x on US dollar. And there were two different lessons that were critical here. So this video is a review of them. You're gonna have to learn this because it's very important. So on Chi, the first thing you look at is I observed here that minus 60% was not cheap. So that is a key lesson. Same as in Alpha, minus 60% is not cheap. See how minus 60% here wasn't cheap. Minus 70% is not cheap in crypto. Minus 80% is where you start. This is subject to change one day in the future. But right now, man, there are too many paper hands. Humans are so far away from like being rational decision makers. You guys, like I'm a human too. But man, you guys just love selling lows. You love hurting yourselves. So minus 80% is where you begin to get cheapy. It doesn't mean go all in. It just means you begin to get cheapy. If you notice how in Chi keeps going down. Now I'm going to go to Alpha minus, let's look here. Minus 80%. Where are we here? That's minus 80%. It hit down minus 87%. So minus 80% was where you're like, hey, I'm now in a maybe cheap zone. Maybe. So that's the first condition. That's what we learned. What you learned, because you're my baby doll, and you're watching for some juice. So, minus 80%, we now know. We are on Japanese candles here. You know, Heikin helps show momentum. Momentum and weekly charts are too long. You can use a weekly chart here. And I'll be honest, I was using a weekly chart back then when I did these. But now that I've revised them, I think a 3 day is better. I think altcoins are so thin and so trash and people don't know how to price anything that a 3 day is better. So when you have a 3 day chart, you'll be able to see some turns here. So this is what we learned here in Chi. You know, you go down, this is where 80% was, and then the next goal is wait until the first green 3 day candle appears and get a bullet in. And it does not mean you're going to be a paper hand. This could have gone to zero. Negative numbers. Doesn't matter. The point is that we're waiting for it to slow down. It doesn't mean it has to slow down and go up. Just means maybe it slows down and slows down again. Okay, let's check Alpha as well. Same lesson. We're going to change this to Heikin. Hey! Alright. Here we go. 3 day candle. This is what he's looking at. You would have got it in here. I was not patient back then. I was just like, gimme, 80%, 90%. But I think the market's going to get more efficient as time goes on. It's going to get harder to do these. So I am future-proofing you. I'm not going to say, yo, just wait for interest rates to go down, man. QE to the moon, buddy. We don't know that that's going to work 100% guaranteed. But if I can at least help you improve your efficiency, you will be so much better at this. You'll be way better equipped. I help you. You share my videos and my message. We help each other. We both continue to grow. So this is a confirmed green candle. So if you're new here, you don't know what comes next. No one knows. I did not know that was going to come next, and I did not know this part was going to come next. But I can tell you now, you can't control this part, friends. All you can control is your entry and your exit. That's it. And everything else in between is just a mental game. Mental time game. So if you can at least say, hey, I'm going to stick to my system. I know this thing is down, but I'm going to wait. Because this is a big difference, friends. Because, you know, the difference between... I want to zoom in here so you can see the difference between... Like, if you thought minus 60% was cheap and you're buying here, when you get in on that first green candle top, So you see this little top part? See where my cursor is? With Heikinashi, I'm going to assume you have to get the worst price in the candle. I'm not going to do any of these bottom ticking trash. Okay, I want to get this. I want to cover all angles here. And if you get a better price when you do this in the future, good on you. I'm going to assume the worst here. So, look, you waited for this confirmation. You get to keep your bullets safe. So this is a Bitcoin chart, right? This is Alpha BTC, and the other chart was Chai BTC. So you can do this with Ethereum. You can even do this with Hex. You can do this with anything if you make it your base currency. I would advise using it with Bitcoin or Ethereum. They're more stable with their blue chips in how they behave, and people rotate out of them. So when you have this, you are minus 52% when you get in. So that person who thought minus 60% was a dip, not only did you get to, you basically cheated. They had to suffer all this time. They had to suffer waiting offside. Is ever going to come back? And then you still get it minus 50% cheaper. Lucky you. Isn't that pretty good? So this helps improve our entry. And what about the exit? So the exit is a combination of things, and you cannot ever get this right. There is a price to pay somewhere. If you want to go with momentum, okay, you wait for the turn and you're going to miss out on the juiciest parts. If you want to get the juiciest parts, then you unfortunately might be bag holding too much of the way down. That's just the way it is, right? I held this the whole way. I didn't get anything out here. I held the whole way. I made 90x, all right? So there was none of this red candle exit, but I'm letting you know for the future. You can now have a system. You get in, and when you start going in, you might say, all right, I'm going to get out of part on the first 3-day red candle turn. I'm just going to get one third out. That's it. Get me back my Bitcoin, or get me back my ETH, or let me rotate it into Hex or Chainlink or whatever base currency you want to use. Anything that's appreciating over time. You understand me? So you say, okay, I'm just going to get some out. Whatever, take some off the table. You know, maybe you get out 1/3, maybe you get out 50%. That's completely up to you. There are no rules here. We only have strategy. So you get some out here. And then what are you going to do with the next part? Well, you might say, in the next part, I'm going to get out when Bitcoin prints like a 3-day or a weekly red candle. So you would go look at the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin. You go look at the Bitcoin chart. You're going to put it on Heikinashi. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to look at it like maybe the 3-day, yeah, has a lot of, it's not perfect, friends. It's not perfect, you know. You're looking at the 3-day, maybe you would have done that. See, I mean, it looks easy, but look at this, friends. You have to zoom in, please. You have to be realistic, all right? When Bitcoin was going up in this period, the bottom of this 3-day candle is $30,000. It was trading at 41,200. Do you know how hard it is mentally to see yourself, oh my God, we're at 42 and I'm now taking profit at 30K? Do you understand the power of holding long term now? You don't have to deal with this garbage, but it's a fight. So if this is the price you pay. If you want to be like confirming after momentum shifts down, then yeah, you're gonna pay the volatile part of the swing. You will, from 42K down here. See, but you didn't know it was gonna stop up here. No one knew. No one knew it was gonna stop up there. But that's just the price you pay. You just have to accept that. You have to accept if you make good decisions over the long run, you're gonna smash it. That's what you just have to accept. Believe in the prophecy. So this is one thing you could have done. So this happened in January, 19th of January and 24th of Feb. So if we go back, 19th of January, see, it was right here on this spike up. Think about it, friends. I didn't get out here, but you might have a decision, right? So look, you can't say you're like amazing, right? You know, if we go back to Bitcoin, by the way, that was a 3-day chart. If you put a weekly chart, now your system bag holds Bitcoin longer until you get a big red candle, and you get to hold longer. So this is something you're gonna have to weigh up as well. Do you want to use a 3-day or do you want to use weekly for Bitcoin's momentum shifts? And really, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter too much. You're going to get fudded out once. You're going to sell at the bottom of a 7-day dip, and then that ends up going to being the reversal. It will happen, okay? So Alpha, let's say you did a 3-day, you would have sold here. This is all you see. You might say, oh my God, Bitcoin's turning. See, don't think this is like the market moving. That's like some all-seeing hand. This could just be like the end of the Bitcoin cycle. That's what you could have thought. You could have thought, oh my God, Bitcoin's rotating down in the chart we saw. Bitcoin's got red candles, but Alpha up here is ticking up. It's basically someone's like, oh wow, someone's giving away free money because they don't understand that Bitcoin is starting to rotate down. They're still in la la land. You can easily have that perspective. And you're a doo-doo head, and I absolutely hit this out of the park, and you sold too early. But you have to live with that. You just have to live with that. You know, on average, you're gonna get out fine, but this is the time, friends. That's why I don't like saying this is the top, this is the bottom, because people will get the wrong impression. They will think it's actually possible to do it. Everyone who does it's basically a fraud most of the time, and that's why, like, if you got out on there and then you watched it go plus 400%, you would never ever listen to a word out of the person who told you got out ever again. That's why. One, I chart against Bitcoin or Ethereum. I chart against Ethereum now, but you know, we're starting with basics. You chart blue chip assets, you rotate into them. So you have the third one here. Now you're going to have your chance to get maybe another third out. And then you might say, hey, now that this is happening, I'm going to wait until Alpha, its next red candle on the 3-day is red as well. And you know, you're like, you get so lucky, you get it up here. You know, but most of your wins was down here. Remember, I made man 30x on Bitcoin here. Yeah, I made 30x. I'm literally somehow got to smash the absolute low, but you would have only got, I'm looking at the average price, just doing it mentally. Let's do it. Yeah, you wouldn't have got 30x. You get here, maybe up here. Yeah, like a 10x. You know, it's a big difference, but you're still winning. At least you're still green. At least you're still following the system, you're still green. See, you might be confused looking at hearing this, going like, yeah, but green is green, man, it's fine, I won't care. Please, everyone cared. Everyone cared. People who made 4x were absolutely seething with hatred at those who held something that went up like 27x. It gets circusy here, man. You can't make these rational decisions in the heat of the moment there. You got to plan for it now. So I've given you a strategy, right? There is no perfect solution. Now I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. See, with Chi gas token, if you waited for Bitcoin's first red candle and you only relied on that, Bitcoin's first red candle was like in March or May, so it's already down here from the top. Look at this. Bang. It's already down 75%. Are you going to be selling minus 75% from the top? Because actually, that was the right thing to do. Look, it comes back down. Not so easy, is it? But that's the lessons we learned. You have different parts of your strategy that rely on indicators, and you take out a bit at a time. So you don't ever lose the plot. Like I say, yeah, you wait for a red candle on the 3-day. You get a bit out there. You maybe wait for a red candle on Bitcoin, right? You wait for a red candle on Bitcoin. On its 3-day or its weekly, get out there. Yeah, you've had to, unfortunately, end up selling minus 75%. Look where March is. Bitcoin was still going green, and then you have to sell at minus 75%. But that's the game, man. That's the game. You can't win everything, so everything is going to be perfect. Right? But at least you're coming out ahead of everyone else. Because you're buying in the red, and you're selling at the top when it's turning. So until next time, friends, I'll see you next time.